Hello everybody, I'm Alicia. For this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make the matching bracelet to my second most popular ring tutorial. My first most popular ring tutorial is the Spiral Galaxy ring. I have over 700,000 views on that tutorial. And this ring here is called the Fairy Tale ring, and I have over 600,000 views on this ring. So for this tutorial, I'm going to show you how to make the matching bracelet, which is pretty simple and very fun to do. So here is the bracelet here. I made a matching ring to go along with each bracelet. In the tutorial, I will be doing this color layout here. I really like how these went, and I do want to let you know that I've played with different name brands, seed beads, and I found that the best seed bead brand to use for this is Czech Preciosa or Miyuki's for your 6-0s. So this one here, the pink, I did Vintage Venetian, and I had to pick through all of them to make sure that they were all uniform. But when I look at it, they're not laying perfectly. The Vintage Venetian seed beads are just a tad bit bigger than the Preciosa 6-0s and the Miyuki. So this here, the turquoise, is all Preciosa, and if you look at it, it looks really good. They're laying perfectly in this bracelet. I also want to tell you guys, I use these beads here. These are faux cal silica beads. They are so cool. I got them last August on my birthday, and I love them so much, and I've been trying to figure out a way to use them, and I finally was able to put them into this bracelet here. I only had 5 of them, so I put 4 in the bracelet, and then I did these 3 purple gemstone beads, and the ring, I put the 5th one here in the ring. So I wanted to do this orange color in this bead, and I went through all my beads and I was able to find orange, but oh my gosh, I have to tell you, it was so bad. This is the only orange I have, and I don't know if you could tell in the camera or not, but there's like a mixture of 4 different shades of this orangey yellow color. And when I first got these seed beads, I thought they were ugly, but I have grown to like that color. But anyways, those are actually junky seed beads, and I picked through them painstakingly, and I picked out the same shade that were uniform, and I went around my large 10mm bead there, as you could see. So these here are just a tad bit bigger than these bronze, and these bronze ones are Miyuki. So these here are a kind of a junky name brand, and I had to use less of these and more of these because these are slightly bigger. So I'll talk to you more about that when I go to show you how to make the bracelet. And this one here, I'll show you a close-up of this one. These 6-0s right here are Miyuki, and like I said, the pink ones are Vintage Venetian. And this clasp here, this toggle, is from Lisa. I don't know if you remember or not, but she sent me a lot of stuff, and this toggle looks really great on that bracelet. Okay, so let's get ready to do this bracelet. It's going to be a lot of fun. Here is the list of materials you will need to make the Fairy Tale bracelet. You will need 7 feet of 10-pound test monofilament. You will need 6 to 7 10mm round beads. Now, 7 of them got me an 8-inch bracelet, so if you want smaller than an 8-inch, go with 6 10mm beads. You will also need 7 to 8 6mm beads, and they can be rounds or bicones. All the other ones I did rounds, but this ring here I did bicones, so you can use bicones if you want. It's up to you. You're also going to need 6-0 seed beads in 2 different colors. I did count these, by the way, and I will have the exact amount you will need down there in the description bar, just in case you are low on 6-0 seed beads and you want to count them before you make it so you don't run out of beads as you're making it. So I have the counts for the 6-0s down there in the description bar. So again, I'm using 6-0s in 2 colors, and I'm also using 11-0 seed beads. These are Miyuki. You can also use 10-0s, but if you use 10-0s, you will be using 2 less beads in each circle. and I will show you that when I go to do that, okay? You're also going to need either 2 split rings or jump rings. I'm using split rings, and for my clasp I'm using a ball and socket clasp. And you can use any clasp you want, but keep in mind if you use a big clasp like a toggle, it's going to make your bracelet fit bigger. So if you are wanting a smaller size, use a lobster claw or something like that. That's a small clasp if you're trying to get your bracelet to fit you tighter. So this is the list of materials, and remember, I always put everything you will need down there below the video in the description bar. And like I said, I will have the exact amount of beads and 6/0s that you will need to make this bracelet. Okay, so I went ahead and I painted the ends of my monofilament with nail polish. I've always used permanent marker on the ends so you guys can see what I'm doing, but it wears off quickly and I have to stop and reapply it during filming. So I've had a couple of you guys tell me to try nail polish, and I did, so I'm going to see how that works. I have one end that's black and one that's red, and I'm going to start by picking up my clasp here. I'm going to pick up 10 11/0s or 10/0s. 11/0s or 10/0s. And I've already lost count. Let's see. 7. I need 3 more. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to check that because I need exactly 10. Sometimes I pick up an extra one. Okay, so I have 10 seed beads. I'm going to slide those down. I'm going to pick up half of my clasp now. I'm using a split ring, so it's best to pick it up now because it's kind of hard to put it on after you have the loop already formed. So because I'm using a split ring, I'm picking it up now. If you're using a jump ring, you could put it on at the end when you're done with your whole bracelet. So I'm putting that on now, and then I'm going to pick up my round 6mm, which is my cross through bead, and I'm crisscrossing both of my ends through this bead. Okay, just like that. I'm going to bring my ends of my monofilament together so they are even, and I'm going to bring this pearl all the way down, okay, just like this, to the very center of my string. So this is what I have. Okay, now I'm going to sit this down and I'm going to start picking up my 6/0 seed beads, and I'm working with a lot of monofilament here on camera, which doesn't bother me, but when I'm doing it on camera, it's a little tricky. So I'm going to pick up 3 6/0 seed beads on one string. I have my red one here that I'm doing it on. Okay, I'm gonna hold the third bead between my fingers, and on my black string I'm gonna pick up 1 6/0, and I'm going to cross through the third seed bead that I picked up over here. Okay, so just like this, this is what I have. Right there's my 1, over here's my 3. I'm crossing through the third one. Okay, bring this down, and I know I'm out of camera, but you're not missing anything. I'm just bringing the bead down. Okay, and now you should have what looks like this. 4 6/0s in the top, my 6mm, and 10 11/0 seed beads, just like this. Now, this string that's in the middle between these two and these two, the one that's coming out the middle, I'm going to put my 8mm bead there. This one here I'm going to be picking up 6/0 seed beads with, and this color is red. So I'm going to pick up 6 6/0s. There's 4. Okay, and there are my 6. I'm going to slide those down, and I have to find my other string, which is totally just run away on me. Okay, so I'm going to slide all those beads down just like this. Okay, I'm going to pick up a 10mm, and I don't know if you guys can see or not, but I'm using these fire agate 10mm beads from, I think it's red fire agate. They are from, or orange, they're from Michael's, and there's like 2 shades. There's this lighter orange and there's this dark orange red color. So I just did the dark, the light, dark, light, dark, light, dark. So I have to make sure that I follow my pattern there, because I want them to look nice in the bracelet. So I'm picking up a 10 millimeter bead and I'm crossing my ends through this 10. Okay, pulling this down. I now have what looks like this. So there is a string that's coming out right here. This one here, leave that alone. We're gonna go to this string right here, okay? And mine is red, and I'm going to pass through this one 6/0 seed bead. That one right there, okay? Just pass through that one. Bring that through. Now on this string that I just used to pass through there, I am going to pick up 6 6/0s, and because I am right-handed, I have to do it with my right. 4, 5, and 6, okay? Oops, I just dropped 2. Okay, so here are 6. I'm going to slide 5 of them down because I need to crisscross both ends through this 6/0 seed bead. So crisscrossing my ends through it, bringing it down. I now have what looks like this. Now I'm going to take this string right here and pass through that one 6/0 seed bead. Okay. So I just did that. So now I have a string exiting out of each side. Okay. Now I'm going to get both ends and pick up one 6/0 seed bead on each end, and then I'm going to pick up my 6 millimeter cross through bead. Okay, just like this. Cross through that bead, bring it on down. Okay, and you want to pull this tight. Right after you add that last bead, make sure you pull that tight. And now it looks like this. And again, these here 6/0 seed beads are preciosa. They are called marbled. They're marbled. I got them from Shipwreck Beads. If you're interested, they sell out of them a lot, and it took 2 years for them to come back in stock one time, and I waited that long to get them. I love them so much. Okay, so now we have one complete. We're ready to make another one. Now every time after you get done making a complete, pattern, motif, whatever you want to call it, you want to take the ends of your monofilament, put them together, run them all, your fingers all the way down to the end, and see which string is longer. Do you see how long this one is here? It's like 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches longer. You want to take the longer one, okay? If you don't do this, you will run out of string on one side of your bracelet, and then you will have to take it apart and remake it. So pay very close attention to this part. Okay, so I have my longer string, and with the longer one, I'm going to pick up my 3 beads. Always remember this. With the longer string, pick up 3 beads, okay? And then the shorter string, which is red, I'm picking up 1. And then I'm going to crisscross through that 3rd bead right there, okay? We're making another one. So bring this bead all the way down. Picking it up, I now have this. This string right here I'm going to pick up 6 seed beads on, and then I'll pick up a 10 millimeter and we'll crisscross, okay? So leave this one here, this is for the 10 millimeter. Take this one right here, and again I am right-handed, so I will take this into my right hand and pick up my 6 6/0s. Okay, I got 7. Okay, so there are my 6 6/0 seed beads. You can go ahead if you want and just slide those on down. Okay, so you now have this. Now this string right here, that's where my 8 millimeter is going to be. So again, I have to grab from the left because I have 2 different shades of beads that I'm using here. These are so cool. I really like these beads. Okay, I'm going to crisscross through them, and they're really good quality bead gemstone. Do you see the hole there, how it's really rounded? It's not a sharp gemstone. It's not going to cut my monofilament like some do. Okay, I'm crisscrossing through this agate. I think it's agate? Is it fire agate? Is that what I said it was? Okay. I brought that down. And now I'm going to take this string right here This one that's close to the pearl. Mine's black. And I'm going to pass through this bead, okay? Right through there. Just like that. Okay, we now have this. Again, I'm going to take the same string that I just passed through that bead, and I have to pick up 6 6/0 seed beads. There are 6. I'm going to slide 5 of them down, grab onto the 6th bead, and crisscross through that one there, okay? Pull your strings until it goes all the way down, and we now have this. I'm now going to take this string and pass through this one bead. Just that one bead. So when you pull it all the way through, you should be exiting like that. See how it's loose right there? It is going to tighten up. See? I just tightened it up there, okay? I grab this bead and I wiggle both ends. Okay, so now I have to pick up one 6/0 seed bead on each end. Here's one, and one on this side. Now I'm going to pick up my pearl, which is my cross through bead, just like that, and bring it on down. Okay, so we now have this. I just showed you the same step twice. Okay, pull that very tight as you can. Now I'm going to take the bracelet in your hand, grab both strings, and pull your fingers all the way down till you see if one's longer. So I've completed 2, and every time that you do 2 at a time, so after I do these 2, it's even. After I do these 2, it will be even. After I do these 2, it will be even. And then when I do my last one here, because I have 7, one is going to be longer than the other. Now if you're doing 6 beads, both of your strings will be even at the end when you do 6 10mm beads. But I'm doing 8, so one is going to be longer. So right now they're both even, so it does not matter which string I take. So I hope that made sense to you guys. Again, I'm going to repeat this. I'm going to pick up 3 6/0 seed beads on one string, okay? They're both the same length, so it doesn't matter which one I use. At this time they are, okay? I'm crisscrossing my ends through the one seed bead, the third one there, okay? I have 3 on this side, 1 on that side. Crossing to the third one, I'm going to bring this bead down. Pulling it down, I now have what looks like this. Okay, so again, I'm going to have a 10mm bead on this string. On this one here, I have to pick up 6. So I'm going to take this string, this one right here that's black, into my right hand again, because I'm extremely right-handed. I could not write my name with my left hand if my life depended on it. I really couldn't. Okay, there are my 6 6/0 seed beads. I'm going to let those slide down, and then I'm going to take both ends and pick up my third 10mm bead and crisscross through it. Okay, just like that, and bring all your string through. Okay, and now you should have this. So this string right now is leading to nowhere. This string is going down here towards all these beads, and that means that I have to go through this 6/0 seed bead right here, just the one. So I'm using the black string end to do that, passing through that one bead, bringing all of this through. I now have this. Now I'm going to take this same string, which is black, and I'm going to pick up 6 6/0 seed beads. There is 5. Here is number 6, and I'm going to crisscross through that 6th bead there, bring all my string through, Okay, see how again it's loose? Go ahead, you can pull the side, you can pull that down to straighten it out, okay? So now what I have to do, both ends are crossing through this 1/6-0. I have to take this string and pass through here. This string right now is leading to nowhere. It's waiting for me to pick up a bead. This string has to go through that bead. So I'm going to find the end. Here it is. It's the black one. And I'm going to pass through this 6/0 seed bead, just that one. Okay, so now I have this. Again, I am going to pull my ends tight because we do not need this to be loose. It will look bad. And we do not want our jewelry to look bad. Okay, so both strings are Xing out of those two seed beads, the 6/0s. I'm going to pick up 1/6-0 on each string and crisscross my ends through the 6mm pearl, okay? And I'm going to bring this bead all the way down. And again, one last time, pull this tight. Okay, so you can see there is no loose string. And it looks really good. So you're going to be repeating these same steps. And by the way, I showed you the same component, motif, whatever you want to call it. I showed it 3 times. So you're going to keep doing this weave until you have 6 or 7 10mm beads, depending on what size you want. And again, remember, every time after you complete a section, like right now I just completed this section, I have to take my ends, put them together, and this time one is going to be longer because I finished with an odd number. So because I have my third one done there, one is going to be longer, and as you can see this time the red one is 2 inches longer. So take the red one, and I'm all tangled up over here. Taking the red one, which is longer, you want to pick up your 3 beads, and then your short string, pick up 1, and crisscross your ends through the 3rd bead that's on the longer string. Just like that, and pull that down. Okay? So again, just keep going, repeating this weave until you have the length that you need, and once you get to the end, your other end, I'll show you what to do next, okay? And if you have any problems, just rewind the video. So keep going, doing this weave, and I'll zoom in there for you so you could see what it looks like again. Keep on going. So I kept on going weaving the bracelet, and I stopped right here at the 6mm pearl because I'm now ready to add the clasp. And by the way, the nail polish is holding up great on the ends of my monofilament. It's not coming off. Usually by now, if this was permanent marker on the ends, I would have to reapply it because it comes off so quickly. But the nail polish is doing wonderfully. Okay, so let's say that maybe you're a beginner at this, and by the way, newbies can do this bracelet. I should have mentioned that at the beginning, but I forgot. Let's say that you're a beginner, and as hard as you've probably tried, it's loose here at maybe all the way to the very beginning. You can fix it, and I'm going to show you how to do it. It's really easy. Think of this like shoelaces on a pair of sneakers. When you go to put your shoes on, you have to, go to the very top of the laces and tighten it up all the way to your ankle so that your shoe fits comfortably. So you're going to do that same thing pretty much on this bracelet. You're going to grab the ends of the C beads and you're going to pull them like this, tightening them up. Okay, just keep going, pulling them all the way to the top. And when you get up here, when you go to pull these here, see how it loosens up? When it does that, you just want to go to your working tails and pull those, okay? Because you're close to the end there, so that's why it's doing that, okay? And then your whole bracelet should be tight and ready to go. So that's how you fix that problem there. So I am using a clasp that has a top and a bottom, and I don't know about you, but I have to pay close attention to that because I could put it on upside down. So I'm using the snap clasp, a snap clasp or a ball and socket clasp. I don't know if you've ever seen them before, but they're really awesome. You just put the ball through the hole and it snaps on there. There's like a jump ring or something on the other ones I have. I could see it. That's on the inside of this ring, and it expands and it snaps onto that ball. It's so cool. It's a very secure clasp. I love it. So this is the top that has the writing on it. Okay, which is great because all of my 10 millimeters have kind of popped up to this side, so it's worked out great for me. So this is the top of my clasp, and the ball has to be on the top, so I have to make sure that I pick it up like this. So I'm going to come down here to my 10 millimeter, and before I pick anything up, I need to make sure that I pull that very tight. Okay, and you want to be cautious, make sure that you pull it tight as you're working. It is now pouring rain outside. So I'm going to pick up 10 11-0 seed beads. I'm doing it with my right hand, and it is the black string. I think I got 7, but I'm not sure. Okay, let me count. Here is 5 and 5. That's 10. I'm going to hold these between my fingers like this. Pass through my clasp. It's supposed to be standing up. Yep, this, my bracelet's up. So go through like this. I'll pull this through some so it don't fall off. Then I'm going to take my string, my other string, and pass through all of those seed beads. Just like that, okay? And then pull my ends. I'm stuck on the mat over here, my glass mat. Pulling this down. I now have this. I'm going to take one of the strings, doesn't matter which, we're going to do it to both. I'll take the red one, pick up a seed bead, and again this is the top. Right there's my clasp. This is the top of my bracelet. So I'm going to pick up the 11-0 seed bead. I'm going to pass through these two 6-0s, just like that, okay? Pull this through. I have to pull this string, just like that. We should now have what looks like this. Okay? I'm going to turn this around, move this string over because it's in my way, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side. This string's black. I'm picking up a seed bead. I'm going to go through these two 6-0s right there. Okay, bring this through. Just like that. Now both of my ends are exiting up here. I'm going to pull them like that. Okay, I'm going to lay this down. I'm going to pick up my strings. Pick up one 11-0 seed bead and crisscross my ends through it. Just like that. Bring it on down. It's going to twist on you. So you just gotta fidget with it until you get it just right. Okay, so there it is. Okay, now I'm going to pull this very tight. Now we are ready to put our 11-0 seed beads around the top of the 10 millimeter, making a circle. Then once we do that, we're going to pass with the 6-0s. We're going to put the bronze seed beads in these gaps. We're going to weave through here. We're going to make another circle. Now I'm using the 11-0 seed beads, and this is the part I was wanting to tell you guys about. These are 11s. These orange ones were 10-0s. And sometimes when you buy 10-0 seed beads, for example, at Walmart, if you go to Walmart, and I buy seed beads from Walmart sometimes, if it's a color I like, it's a color I don't have, you know, they're dirt cheap, and I do use seed beads that aren't uniform for some projects. So I do buy them sometimes. So let's say you go to buy seed beads at Walmart. They say that they're 11-0s. Sometimes they're not actually 11-0s. They could actually be 9-0s. Sometimes when I bought seed beads from Walmart, they're big. They're closer to an 8-0 seed bead. So you have to pay attention to that, because, and sometimes when you go to make something, you'll get discouraged because you'll be using beads like that and your project isn't turning out the way it's supposed to, and it's because your seed beads are the wrong size. Even though they claim they're 11-0s, because they're not, you know, top of line Miyuki or the check beads that I love, or even Toho's, you could have problems. Okay, so right here I am. I'm using 11-ohs. So I'm going to start, pick up 4 11-oh seed beads. Now if you're doing 10-ohs, you will also be picking up 4 at this same spot that I'm at, okay? So there's my 4. I'm going to skip over these 2 beads, and I'm going to pass through the third one. And sometimes you will have to take your fingernails and pop that bead out, because it will be snuggled up against the other ones, and it'll be a little tricky to pass through. It's not tight, it just, you know, rests against the other one, okay? So I picked up my 4 seed beads, 2 just slid down, and I skipped over those 2, and I'm passing through the third one in this direction. So now I'm going to pull this, and they're going to lay on top, just like that, okay? And then I'm going to take my string, and I'm going to pass through the 4th seed bead that I added, just the 4th one, like this. I got stuck in my tripod. Okay, take your fingernails, you want to slide those down, make sure they're snug. Now right here I am now in the middle, okay? So at this point, if you are using 10-oh seed beads, you're going to want to pick up 3 seed beads. If you're using 11-ohs, you have to pick up 4. And if you were to pick up 3 11-ohs right now, and do it on both sides, and when you go to get over here and tighten it, this is going to look like the shape of an eye. It's going to be like an almond shape. It's not going to be round like these here. See how these are round? If it has a shape of an eye, you know that it is too tight, and you'll have to take it back out and add another seed bead if you do 11s and you do 3. But I've learned that when you're doing 11s, it's best to do 4 in this area, and if you're doing 10-ohs, pick up 3. So I'm doing 11s, that means 4. If you're doing 10, pick up 3. So here I am with my 4. I'm skipping over this bead. And by the way, when I pull this tight, okay, when I pull this tight, do you see how this bead is all the way over here to the left? There's a gap there. That is actually telling me that I need 1 extra seed bead. So I'm going, when you do 10-ohs, it will be right on top of the middle of that bead. So I'm going to pass through this bead right here. Okay, skipping over 1 6-oh, passing through the other, going in this direction, pulling this through. They're going to jump on top. Just like that. And before I pull this, or go through that bead, I have to pull this tight because it's loosening up on me. So I'm going to pull this tight, grab the end of my string, and I have to pass through that 4th 11-oh. And if you are doing 10-oh seed bead, you're going to pass through the 3rd 10-oh that you picked up, okay? But I'm doing 4 11-ohs, so I have to go through the 4th one. Okay, just like that. Looks great. I don't see any gaps. And now I have to turn this and do the other side. Okay, going to the black string, I'm going to pick up my 4, and I'm going to try to remind you guys if you're using 10-ohs to do 3, okay? So here's my 4, skipping over this bead and going through the 3rd one, just like that, okay? Coming out of there, picking up 4 beads, going through the 3rd one, going back to the end of the bracelet, pulling this through. Looks just like this. Taking my string, the same one, and I'm passing through the 4th seed bead. It's getting stuck in my turtle. Now it's getting stuck in my clasp. So argumentative. Okay, pull that tight. Just like that. And again, I'm using 11/0. This means I have to pick up 4, and if you're doing the 10/0, pick up 3. Okay, so I got my 11/0. I'm going to skip over this 6/0, just one, and I'm going to pass through the second one. Just like that. Rolling it through. Okay, like that. And again, I'll pull this tight. Take the end of your string. Pass through the 4th 11/0, and if you're doing 10/0, pass through the 3rd, which is your last 10/0. Pull that through. Just like that. Okay, I'm going to pull this tight. Okay, I'm going to lay this down. Now take both strings. On each string, pick up 3 seed beads. You're going to do this for both the 10/0 and the 11/0 size. The only thing that's different when you're using, comparing the two different size seed beads, the only thing that's different is the middle of the 10mm bead. Right there you would be adding 1 if you're doing 11s, and if you're doing 10s, then you would only, you'd be taking 1 away, you would be doing 3. So this part here will be the same for both size beads. So I picked up 3 beads on each side. I'm going to pick up 1 seed bead, 1 more, so I actually have 7. So I'm crossing through the middle one. Cross through that, bring it down, and pull it really tight. You don't want this to be loose. It drives me crazy when it's loose. Okay, it is loose right there, so I'm going to take my fingernail and I'm going to tighten it up. Slide these down and pull this tight. Okay. So again, if this was 11/0, and if you did 3 instead of 4, it would have this shape. Okay, the shape of an eye. And the 10mm, or not the 10, the 6/0 seed beads is what I'm trying to say, they would be coming in, up, like this, up. Really strange. It wouldn't look right, okay? So I just pulled that tight. And I'm going to take my strings. I have 1 coming out here. I have to pass through this 6/0 and through this one. So I'm going to bend this out of my way and go through these 2 beads, and sometimes you have to do 1 at a time because of the angle. Okay, just like that. And since I'm on a roll and I'm on this side, I'm going to go ahead and pick up my 6/0 seed bead that's in a different color, my second color, and I'm going to pass through these 2 6/0s right here. Pull that through, just like that. Turning this around, I'm going to take my other string, it's black, I'm just going to pull these out of my way, pass through these 2 6/0 seed beads. Okay, reposition the string. I'm going to come back and pull these really tight. Okay, looks good. I'm going back to this string. I have to add my 6/0 in the bronze, and I'm going to pass through these 2 6/0 seed beads right here. Pulling this through. I now have what looks like this. It's coming together. I'm going to pull these 2 strings tight. Okay, and it's looking good. So now we're going to keep going doing this. I'm going to pick up 1 11/0 seed bead or 10/0 and crisscross through it. We're going to be repeating this again, okay? For each 10mm and each 6/0. Okay, I just brought that bead down right there. And again, you want to pull this tight. This is your last chance to pull this tight. And we're pulling it tight because this here loosens up. Okay, now I'm going to pick up my 4 seed beads. And again, if you're doing 10/0s, or 11 you're going to pick up 4 in this area. Okay, I'm going to skip over 2 6/0s and pass through the third one. Okay, so right there I am through the third one. Those are sitting on top, and now I'm going to take my string and pass through the 4th seed bead. Bring that down, and I am using, and again, look at that. You see how these seed beads, when you pull it tight, do you see how they're going to the left of the bead? They're not sitting right on top of it. They're going over to the side of the bead when you pull it tight. Okay, so that means I'm using 11/0s. That means I'd have to do 4 seed beads. And again, I'm going to remind you, if you are doing 10/0s, you have to do 3. Okay, so I got my seed beads. I'm going to skip over this one here, and I'm going to go into the next one after that. Okay, so I'm going to show you. I just did. I'm just going through, skipping a bead, going through the next one, pulling this through. Sits on top. Okay, and I'm going to pull this tight. It's wanting to loosen up on me. I'll go back and pull it tight up here actually. Okay, pull this through, and then pass to that 4th seed bead. Just like that. I'm going to stop and go to the other side now. I'm going to pick up 1, 2, 3, 4 seed beads, 11/0s or 10/0s. I'm going to cross through, or not cross, I'm passing. Crossing is when I have 2 strings. So I'm passing through this bead here, skipping one, passing through the next. Pull this through. Those sit on top again. And then I'm going to pass down through the 4th seed bead. Okay, anchoring that there. I'm using 11/0s, so I have to pick up 4, and again, if you're doing 10, make sure you pick up 3. There's my beads. I'm skipping over the next 6/0, and I'm going through the second one. Okay. Okay, so I got through there. And now I have to pass through my last seed bead right here. And because I'm doing 11/0s, I'm passing through the 4th. If you're doing 10/0s, you would be going through your 3rd bead. Just like that. We should have this. Okay, now I'm going to lay this down. And again, on each string, I'm going to pick up 3 11/0 seed beads. Pick up 1 and cross through it. So we're picking up 7, 3 on each side, and then we're picking up 1 and crossing through it, okay? Bringing it down, pull it tight. If you have to, adjust these seed beads with your nails. That's what nails are for. Nails are for beading. That's why God gave us nails. Okay. So now I have to pass through these 2 here on my right side. Alright. I'm going to turn this and do the same on this side. I got through one, so I have to go through the next one there. Okay. Pull that tight, and it looks really good. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to turn this, and I have to get up here. I'm going to pick up my 6/0 seed bead. I have to fill in this gap. I'm going to pass through these two. Turn. Do the same thing on this side. Pick up a 6/0 and pass through these two. Okay. Pull these tight. And again, I like to go back and check. It does look like there's a tiny little gap right there. Okay, I'm gonna do this seed bead. It'll help me tighten that up. So pick up my one seed bead. This is what really tightens it up when I do this. So I'll twist it on me. Bring that down. Okay, pull this really tight. And I just have to fidget with it a little bit. I'm gonna go back and slide these along with my nails. Okay. So now I'm going to do the 11 seed beads, and I'm just going to do this one more time. I want to make sure that for you guys that are new that you can do this, okay? I'm going to pick up 4 seed beads, and again, you're doing the same thing with 11/0s or 10/0s, no matter what size you're using. I'm going to skip these 2 beads, and I'm going to go through the 3rd one. And by the way, if you do not want to see me do it a 3rd time, fast forward it. That's what it's for. Okay? If you think you got it down pat, go ahead and fast forward it to the next step. Okay, so I'm passing through my 4th seed bead there, anchoring that in place. I'm gonna pick up 4 again because I'm doing 11/0s, and you guys that are doing the 10/0s, make sure you pick up 3. There's my 4. I'm gonna skip over 1 6/0, and I'm gonna pass through the 2nd 6/0, just like that, skipping over 1, going through the 2nd one. Pull this through and pass through that last seed bead. Just like that. Okay, turn it around, do the other side. Picking up 4. And by the way, I did not get enough 11/0 seed beads. I'm gonna have to go fetch some more. There's 4 of my 11/0s. I'm passing through that 3rd bead right there. I'm skipping those 2, pulling this through, and then I have to pass through the 4th one, just like that. Picking up 4 again because I'm doing 11, and remember, if you're doing 10, pick up 3. Don't forget, it's very important. Okay, I'm skipping over 1 bead, and I'm going through the 2nd one, passing through there, going down through my last bead added. And sometimes when I go down through that last bead, it'll twist around the string. It's done it like 5 times to me. And what it's doing is it's actually tying a knot. So don't let it do that. If you see it twisting around your monofilament, this happens with everything I make. If you see when you're passing back through a bead that it starts to twist, pull it out and go through it again, because it's starting to tie a knot on you. It's just doing an overhand knot. Okay, now I'm going to take each string and pick up 3 seed beads on each side, 3 on each side, and then pick up 1 and cross through it. bringing it down just like this. I'm going to pass through these two 6/0s. And you know what? Because my string is curved, if I hold it like this, maybe it'll go through both of them in one shot. Okay, there it goes. So passing through 2 beads, pulling this through. Just like that. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Passing through these 2. Pull that through. Oops, look what it did. It's all twisted there. I'm gonna have to pull that back out. Okay. I just got my string wrapped around the other one. So, okay. Pull this tight. And if you look down here, you can see my strings some. So I'm just going to slide those down. And I will have to come up here and add that 1/11 seed bead, because that what really tightens that up for me. So I'm just going to go ahead. Oops, I forgot to pass through a bead. That's what this tool is for. I can just take it and grab that string and pull it right out. I love that thing. Pick up my 6/0 in the bronze, pass through these 2 right there, pull this through, turn it around, do the same thing on this side, pick up a 6/0 and pass through these 2. Just like that. Pull this tight. Okay, looks great. Now I'm just going to pick up that 1 seed bead, that 1/11 seed bead. It really tightens it all up for me. Bring that down. And pull that tight. Okay, so there it is. Keep on going doing this, adding your seed beads until you get all the way over here, and I'll show you how to finish this off. It's a lot of fun. So I'll zoom in on this for you. Keep on going, doing this weave until you get to the end. Okay, so I kept on going and I have just 2 seed beads left to put in right here, and I hope that you guys can see how amazing these fire agate beads are. They're so beautiful. I really love them. I'm under a severe thunderstorm warning watch right now, so you might be hearing thunder in the background, and I actually had a power surge just before I pressed the record button, so I hope that I don't have any problems while I'm trying to finish this with you guys. Okay, so I'm going to put a seed bead there, and I'm going to turn around with my string on each side, and we're going to be tying knots into the 6/0 seed beads. And I hope that I could pass through them, because I'm thinking that my nail polish might make it a little tricky for me to pass through the 11/0 seed beads. Okay, so I'm picking up an 11/0, and I have to pass through all 10 of these, and I'm just going to straighten some out so I could pass through them. Man, it's really thundering out there. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not. Oh wow, look at that. I went through a whole bunch at one time. Okay, I'm going to pull that through. I have to go through my clasp. Okay, I have 3 more to go through right here. Right there, passing through those 3. Okay, now that was a breeze. Now this side might be a little bit trickier because of the nail polish. I don't know. I'll see how it goes. Picking up one seed bead, I'm going to put it in through right there. You know what? I forgot to pull this really tight. So I hope that I don't have any problems with that. Oh, it looks great. It's working great. Okay. So I just picked up my one seed bead that's going to go in that gap. And now I have to pass through all of these 11 seed beads. And this is twisting on me, so I'm just going to fix that real quick. I don't know if you can see that or not. It's twisting right here, so I'm just going to pass through this hole. Yours probably isn't twisting on you. Pass through there, and I'll pass to that seed bead I just added, and I'll go through that 6-0 right there, okay? You know what else drives me crazy? When it's thundering outside, all the dogs start barking, and then my cats are terrified. So I hope they don't do that. Okay, passing through there. I'm going to pass through the split ring. And then I have to pass through the rest. So far it's going good. I have noticed that with the nail polish on it, this is my first time using it, that it's not as slippery when passing through beads. It's very slippery when it's just the plain monofilament. Has a little bit of friction on it. Okay, so I'm just passing through all of these seed beads, repositioning my strings. Okay, so I'm now exiting. I need to zoom in some more, don't I? I'm now exiting out of these 6-0 seed beads, and what I need to do is tie knots. And if you look, I'm exiting out of these 6-0 seed beads. Boy, I cannot get that string. There it is. I can't go straight down through here because I've never made that thread path before, and if you go back and look, we do not have a thread path going in that direction. What I have to do is go this way and then tie over here, and take this one and go this way and tie over here, kind of like a figure 8. So in order to do that, I've discovered it's best to do it from the back. Okay, just go like this, bend this down. It's going to spread those beads out for us and make it easy for us to pass through. Okay, did that side. Now I'm going to do this side. Passing through these 2 beads. I'll go ahead and pass through that one there while I'm at it, because I'm going to have to go through it anyways. Okay, just like that. See how I'm going through those 3? Coming out that one right there. Now I don't want to tie my knot right here, right in there, because it will definitely be seen. I've learned that when I did the rings. So you want to go through 1 bead right there. Okay. And now I'm going to pull this really tight. Okay. It looks great. We are now ready to tie our half hitch knots, and it's getting really crazy outside, so I'm going to pause this. Okay, now I'm going to tie half hitch knots, and I'm going to tell you real quick how I'm going to do this. I'm going to tie a half hitch knot between every one of these beads. So here, 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 here. Do not tie one here, it will be seen. I'm going to flip this over and work from the back, and I'm going to pass through these beads here. All of them. Do not tie any knots. Pass through these 2 again. You have to do it from the back. Pass through here. I tie like 1 knot here, and then I just pass through this here, and I trim right there. And I do the same exact thing with my other string. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how to tie a knot real quick, just in case you've never done it before. And again, I've passed through this bead and this bead, because if we tie knots here, it will be visible because of that open area. So I'm going to take my string, and I'm going to come underneath, and right there I'm going to pass my string through that hole. I'm going to make a loop and I'm going to pass through it twice because we are working with 6 O's and we're doing 10 pound monofilament. We're able to hide our knots really good. Okay, so I'm just going to pull this knot down. Right there it is. I'm going to pass through the next bead, which I have to use my fingernails to separate this. Just like that. Pass through that bead. And then I could tie another knot right here. Man, it is so stormy outside right now. Make a loop and pass through it twice. Okay, bring that down. And again, I'm going to pass through here, tie another knot, and, you know, pass through here, tie another knot. And like I said, I'll go through all those over there, tie a knot, go down the side, trim it off, and do the same thing with the other string. So just go ahead, tie your knot. This is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and like me on Facebook. And don't forget to share pictures of the jewelry we've made from my videos on my Facebook page and follow me on Pinterest. Thanks for watching.